Good morning, everybody. It's time for a nice little stroll on this lovely autumn day. Yes, you can see summer is over, and that means that it's back to school and back to work. And since we are going back to school and back to work, I decided to work on learning, of course, as always, learning about cloud computing, learning about all kinds of different cool stuff. Now, I say I can teach you stuff, right? And a very interesting question came up lately, where somebody commented on a forum, what makes you the expert, right? What makes you the expert? Sort of ironically, they were asking, what makes me the expert on certification? Because I was saying that, you know, certification has changed, and exams have changed, and courses have changed, and everything that you used to know about that stuff has changed. And I did cover that in my previous video, where I was saying where you have a completely different approach, where you used to have to be certified to start working with a product. Like, for example, I used to hold certifications from a bunch of different vendors. You can look on my profile in LinkedIn, but IBM, HP, multiple different certifications from those. I was CompTIA certified. I was certified by Palo Alto Networks, Citrix, ZenSource, VMware, VM Turbo. I mean, I can't even remember all the others, right? So altogether, I probably have gone through, you know, tens, probably close to 100 exams, 100 certifications from all of these different vendors over the last 20 years, which is not uncommon for a professional working in IT to go through this much. So yeah, lately I'm focused on cloud, so I'm only certified by AWS and Google Cloud at this point. My OpenStack Solutions Admin or Systems Admin certification has actually expired, so that I can also count as my past certifications now. And yeah, they asked me, what makes you the expert on, you know, knowing that certification has changed? What makes you the expert? Well, look, an expert, let's define an expert first, right? What is an expert? An expert is somebody that can explain in very simple terms something that is very complex. If you can explain cloud computing to a 5-year-old, then you're an expert. That's, for me, the definition of an expert, right? Being able to use very simple terms to describe very complex processes. You don't need to use complex terminology to be an expert. A lot of people think, oh, I'm an expert because I use these, you know, terms that are only used in my field and that nobody else understands. Yeah, I mean, in some cases it is required when you're talking to somebody who is at the same level as you, who is also an expert, and you're discussing concepts. Then you are going to be using these different terms that describe something that cannot be described otherwise. But you can, if you are an expert, you should be able to take that term and replace it with something that is not going to fully describe what you do, but is going to be understandable by others who are not experts yet. And that's something that, as an educator, you need to have, right? You need to be able to sort of try to explain subjects in a way that will be understood, that anybody at any level will be able to understand it. And it's probably one of the toughest things when you're doing IT training and mentoring and stuff that I do. It's getting to that level. you actually need to be an expert to be able to teach somebody. Now, a lot of people say, oh, you know, that's not really necessary because everybody knows networking, everybody knows servers before they go into cloud. Well, no, they don't. I love to teach developers, I love to teach DevOps people, right? Because they're focused on the actual application, they're focused on writing code. And to me, developers, they're artists, right? Writing code is like writing something in another language, which is much more difficult than writing in your own language, which means, you know, there's so much more effort involved in it, right? You got your native language and you got your additional language that you learn, whether that's, you know, some language or Python or Node.js, and then you write a novel in that language. Go sit down and try to write a novel. Go sit down and try to write a book. It is damn difficult to write something that will become meaningful. And same thing goes with computer code, right? So you have to be an artist. You have to, that's not a science as much as it is an art form, right? Expressing your emotions with words or expressing what you want the computer to do with computer code is the same as far as difficulty is concerned. And a lot of times I find that somebody who is artistic is not very technical, and somebody who is very technical finds it difficult to be artistic. I'm not saying that's a rule. I'm not saying that all, you know, developers, all programmers are just, you know, bohemian artists who are sitting smoking their cigarette and drinking their absinthe, right? I'm saying that's a tendency, right? I see with developers that I teach or with DevOps people that I teach that for them it isn't important how the network is configured. All they want is a service. All they want is something that will perform that task. It isn't important what kind of server they're running on or which patch version of the operating system there is, it's on, right? And that's something that makes DevOps such an important subject, because you have the technically very proficient people from the sysops that supplement the developer team with that, you know, more technically inclined knowledge. You don't need to know a programming language to be part of DevOps. You need to be good at, you know, maintaining systems and patching them and ensuring that they run efficiently. That's all you really need to do. So when you have a room of people or a virtual class of people that have proficiency at different levels of the application, the system, the infrastructure, the network connectivity, and you're trying to explain a concept and how it fits into all of these levels, you got to explain it in a way that everybody will have a common understanding of it. So a lot of the times it's, you know, turning it into something that somebody with no experience would understand. And that's when you can call yourself an expert. Now, why am I an expert on certification? Well, I wouldn't call myself an expert on certification because there are some hidden features of certifications that I myself am not familiar with, right? I'm not really familiar with the scoring system. I mean, I kind of understand the scoring system. There's a great article on how to score. Actually, you know what? That's going to be a great video. There's going to be a great video that I'm going to talk about on how scoring is done in certifications. But yeah, to get back on track, I think I'm pretty proficient, and I think my experience of being certified by all these different vendors and passing all these different certifications has led me to form an opinion that I believe is quite valid and quite unbiased. and I'm expressing my unbiased opinion, right? When I talk about a lot of stuff, people will, you know, think, oh, what makes you an expert? Well, it's a lot of times it's not an expert's point of view, it's not an expert opinion, it's just an unbiased, very objective opinion that I form based on experience. And that will wrap up this video. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you find all of this stuff interesting. And since 90% of you are not subscribed, I do wish that some of you could subscribe to my channel, because it will make it more interesting. The more subscribers I have, the more time I will be able to afford to making more videos and making this channel much better. So thank you very much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.